Welcome to Sober Shenanigans. Real talk and real recovery, sharing stories, old and new, trying to stay on the right path and help others just like you. So feel our flow and get on with the show. Here's your hosts, Stoff and Primo. Welcome to Sober Shenanigans, real talk and real recovery. We're just two garden variety alcoholics trying to get better one day at a time, inviting you to join us on this trip so we can show you that you are not alone. We are here for you every week, 44 times so far, and this will be show number 45. And with me as usual is my main man, Hunter Grand, Chris Primo. What's up, Primo?
What's going on? Did we ever talk about anonymity? No, I guess we hadn't.
We talked about it like show one.
So I got to tell you, this week we've got some great news. The 24/7 recovery app has been beta tested by the one and only Tiffany Wind.
Tiffany Wind,
our beautiful guest, and several other people like Detroit Lou. I realized that I needed to make some adjustments to the app for old people when I gave it to Lou. And my sponsor, it was like watching two monkeys trying to corner a football. But then Tiffany went through and gave me a detailed explanation of all the fixes, and I'm really kind of proud of this thing. You know,
it's really cool.
And I think we're gonna help. I think once we launch it, it's gonna help a bunch of people. And so I'm very, very stoked. I'm stoked. I'm gonna steal your. Yeah, we got sweet Lou. He's going to be bummed when I start using stoked a little too much. But,
he'll love it.
He will. I'm going to give him credit.
It's a tribute.
Yeah, it's a tribute.
It's a tribute.
Yeah. He's not even from California, so it doesn't really, you know what I mean? So he's kind of stole it anyway.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think I'm really super excited about that. It's a great week. You know, we finished up March, and we're into April, man. It's the weather's beautiful, and the spring is in the air. I got two owls that mated and had babies in my backyard, and it's supposedly.
I'd like to see that.
Who says that? That's something never said on a show before.
I'm trying to get it on video, but however,
yeah.
These owls are like fascinating. I'm not a birder. I'm not kind of like that's not my thing, but they're super fascinating. And my dog is going back there, and it kind of runs around and barks at them, and the owls are clicking their beaks at them.
Nice.
And there's going to be a fight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to
There's a battle royale coming.
I'm going to get a pay-per-view between the dog and the owls.
Attaboy.
But there's like this really cool vibe when you have an owl that comes. It's like this tremendously good omen.
Yeah, I think they're good luck, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have any, there's no other varmints running around, that's for sure. And so it's just been cool, man. It's been kind of one of those weeks, and I'm very excited about an old friend here, an old Tampa guy.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into his story. This guy is interesting, a lot of great shares, super good sobriety, and always says something deep. You know, I like it because he thinks about maybe a deeper direction to go in. And I ponder after he shares his pearls of wisdom.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. Well, with us today, we do have Wayne from Clearwater. Wayne, thanks for joining us today.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on. We're glad to have you. Go ahead.
I want to thank you guys for having me, and I want to acknowledge you guys just celebrated your 1 year. That's an awesome achievement. Stick-to-itiveness. You know, and I understand you got 12 listeners.
Yes.
Right.
9 of them are on the budget. You know, I'm on the payroll.
There you go.
That's all right.
Those 9 keep answering every email and hitting us up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Not to mention the 21 other thousand.
Yeah.
Well, I met 3 of them at Codependency Anonymous, so I don't know what's going on there, but I can't get rid of them. They're in relapse, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Trying to look out for you.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
Thanks.
Awesome. Well, Wayne, it's awesome to have you. Thank you so much for stopping by today.
Very well.
Why don't we start with just give a little bit of your backstory, how you came into the program, or however you'd like to start us off. It'd be great.
I don't want to get too deep in. Oh my gosh, how many people have started their share with? I don't want to talk a lot about my sober war stories, and then just go into it. But I don't want to talk a lot about my war stories. I got sober very young. I was 23 years old. So in that first, 10 years of drinking, it was intense. Not anybody in my life, when I quit drinking, said, "Oh no, man, you're overreacting." They're like, "Whew, finally." But I mean, I was awfully young, so there's just not enough time to do the kind of wreckage that I, see so many people bring into this. But I grew up drinking in high school and hanging out on the corner by the playground and smoking, and I found my peeps, future members of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we hang out, especially at the young age. So were you in Florida? Were you in Clearwater, or where was that?
I was born in Texas, and then my parents moved me to Los Angeles. So I show up my first day of school. I got the pearl snaps on my long sleeve Western shirt. It's all cut, and belt buckle, and boots. And the kids on the playground are like, "Are you dressed up for Halloween?" And I knew I was out of my league.
Yeah.
But I found alcohol and I fit in.
Yeah.
Before that, I was way too tall, way too skinny, big hips, tiny shoulders. I was a unfortunate looking young man. I was lots of acne, red hair. It was bad.
Could you fight?
I had to.
Yeah.
I had a brother. He was 6 years older, so he wasn't there to protect me in school, and that means let's fight.
Right.
Sweet.
Yeah. So was there a reason that your folks moved from Texas to L.A.? Was one of them
my
an
dad was
aspiring
drunk.
actor?
It was one of those things. Grab your favorite toys, hon. Wake up. Get your stuff. We're leaving. We're not coming back. Get your favorite toys. We're getting a car. And there we go. It was a budding alcoholic. I remember like 6 years old thinking, this has gotten out of hand.
Really? So
Yeah.
you were cognizant of it at that point. You could see him. You could see how he acted, and he'd come home or what have you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, if I get to the story, I got a story about that, but it's way deep. I don't want to get into it this early.
Wait a minute. You can't do this to our...
You can't tease a story like that, especially if we're in that part of your life already.
So I'm
Just so you know, we got about another 52 minutes to go.
Okay, cool. So, I do my amends. I get sober, many years sober. I've got like 20 years sober, and I've never dealt with the alcoholism that my father brought. And I didn't hate him. There wasn't like deep-seated resentment. It's just a deep disappointment. Like, wow, what a loser dad I had. What? I don't even know that. These genes don't even match. He is such a loser. He died 20 years before. He died before I was born.
Wow.
I don't even know. So that was my attitude.
Yeah.
And I go to visit my grandmother, who lived to be 100, outlived him. He's been passed away at that point. And this woman is in the nursing home with my grandma and says, "You're Charles Hammonds' boy." And I'm like, "What?" Yeah. I guess you could deduct that. I'm visiting Virgie May and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, I knew your dad better than anybody. And that gets me thinking, what the heck?
Right.
So I find her. My grandma was all doped up. She was whatever was going on. So I find this woman. I said, I've been thinking about what you said. She goes, "Sit down." She goes, "I loved your father." Oh, man, I hadn't heard that. Nobody loved my father. He was a loser.
Yeah.
And she goes, "He was so smart. I loved him and hated him because he was smart. He was athletic. Everything he set out to do, he achieved. He was such a great guy. And he was my son's best friend. He dined with us. He lived with us. He spent all the holidays with us. And, my son could just never live up to your father. He was such a great guy." I'm just scratching my head. This is not the father I knew. And she goes, "And then he started drinking." And it all clicked. Oh my gosh, he's an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. He is just like me. She described a guy that was smart, athletic, able to achieve. And then he drank. I drank and drank and drank. And then I got all those things in Alcoholics Anonymous. He and I, two sides of the same coin.
Wow.
Nice.
Forgiveness just flowed. I'm
Yeah.
like, poor guy.
At that point, you saw him as a real human being, like a flawed.
He's
One
one of us.
He's one of us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
And this was a woman who was in like the retirement home with your grandmother.
Oh yeah, dying. She was
Wow.
pushing 100 years old.
That's what a way to hear those things about your dad, right? I mean,
But it's the awakenings, man. That's just that's an interesting moment.
Seconds and inches.
Yeah, crystallized. That's the burning bush type stuff.
And I had a strained relationship with that woman, my grandmother. I could have easily made excuses not to do that living amends.
yeah.
I could have easily not showed up that day. I could have easily carried this resentment of my father well into my, to my grave.
Yeah.
I believe it was a higher power doing for me what I couldn't do,
That's a intervention.
Yeah.
That's an intervention. That is definitely God doing for you what you cannot do for
Yeah,
yourself.
but now we fast forwarded well into my sobriety. Let's go back.
Let's go back.
I got sober in Southern California. My parents took me there, and I drank there, and I joined the Marine Corps there, and I drank in the Marine Corps, and they asked me to leave. So I'm back in Southern California, and
I don't know that that's even possible that the Marine Corps asked you to leave for drinking. I mean, everybody in the Marine Corps.
Did you get a medal? Did
we
they give
made
you?
it. Yeah, they gave me a good conduct medal.
God bless you.
We made a contract. They said, we have zero tolerance on drugs. You cannot do drugs. I looked at my drug use and I said, yeah, I think I could sacrifice that. I like it, but I'm not married to it. What about alcohol? And they said, oh, you can drink as much as you want. I'm like, oh, I'll take you up on that. So I go into the Marines. I stop doing drugs and I start drinking, and I get in a lot of trouble. I just bring my childhood trouble right into the Marines, and I'm a bad drunk. I'm sleeping in the gutter one morning, and I knew why I'm in the gutter. On reflection, what happened was one day I went into the women's barracks and just crawled into bed with somebody, and they arrested me. Mm-hmm. And I was just drunk. They didn't press charges or anything, but I think I was sitting in the barracks and going, I think this is my barracks, but I don't want to get arrested. So I just sat on the curb and rolled over and fell asleep, and I'm sleeping in the gutter, and my commanding officer shows up, and he's like, what? We got to do something with this guy. And so, now when I see people sleeping in the gutter, I think, yeah, might be tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I've been there. So they said, you got to quit drinking. You're out of control. You got to quit drinking and go to Alcoholics Anonymous. So I caught them halfway, man. I'll go to Alcoholics Anonymous, but I quit drinking.
I thought they told people to drink. Like, hey, you're not drinking enough. You can't be a Marine.
Well, they did tell him that. They said you
Yeah.
can drink as
And then
much
they told
as you
you-
want.
and
He
then
took
wait,
that
then they're like,
challenge right.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Not you. The
Not
other
you,
guys.
The
Yeah.
other guys, yeah. Even amongst heavy drinkers, as Andy used to say.
Did you
that,
try to
even
crawl
amongst-
into bed with your CO?
No,
Okay.
he wasn't that kind of guy.
Oh, well.
Or if he was, he wasn't telegraphing it.
Accidentally. I get it.
So, so they asked me, you got to go to Alcoholics Anonymous. And I did, and I drank and went to meetings, and that was all fine and good, but ultimately, circumstances changed. My higher power got rotated off the rock, and I'm sitting there drinking, and I start drinking again, and hard, like nothing ever happened. And I forgot about it. I actually put together like 45 days of sobriety, I think. They kept asking me, how many days you got? I don't know. I'll make up a day. I 30, 32. I don't know. And ultimately I started drinking again, and I forgot all about it until I got sober. And I didn't even remember when I got sober.
Yeah.
People say a head full of Alcoholics Anonymous and a belly full of booze. I found that another couple shots and all that knowledge of Alcoholics Anonymous went by the wayside, and I'm into the booze.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you stay in Southern California
I did.
after you got booted from the Marines?
I did.
Yeah.
I stayed with all my homies. We partied, and ultimately I just had an epiphany one day. It was as if God revealed to me the true nature of my condition. What happened is I'm sitting around with my buddies, and one of them got some inheritance and had bought cocaine. It was a business investment. Ooh. He was going to, use a little bit off the top and sell the rest. Yeah. And that didn't work out. But ultimately, he asked me to smell it if I wanted to smell a little bit of it. So I went down to, just to smell it. And but it was on a mirror.
Oh, I hated the smell of cocaine.
And when I looked down at that mirror, looking back up at me was me.
Yeah.
And for just an instant, the true nature of my condition just come crashing in. That I'm an alcoholic, that I'm a bad drunk. I'm going to destroy the lives of people who aren't even born yet. I'm going to destroy relationships of people I haven't even met. This is bad. And there's nothing I can do with it. I am stuck in a trap that I can't unspring. And that it's bad. We're going to have bad news coming. And I prayed. Now I'm hanging out with a bunch of guys drinking. And I'm just like, God, please help me.
All that was going through your head after you came up from the mirror?
Oh, I hadn't even snorted it yet.
Like smelled it yet. You had a premonition that you would destroy other lives.
Yes, all of that just came crashing in.
That is definitely
an
intervention of some sort.
And I went, wow, God, please help me. I'd rather die than do that. I'm going to be just like my dad, just like my uncle, just like all these other alcoholics that just rip through the lives of their kids and families and loved ones. And I'm like, man, there's nothing I can do. Please, God, I'd rather die. I'd just rather die. And then I went ahead and smelled the coke and went on about my business. But the next day when I came to, something had changed. I called Alcoholics Anonymous. I heard a voice, maybe a heavy thought. I don't know. I'm going to call it the voice of God, but it may have just been, what happens when you're desperate. And I picked up the phone book. They used to have those books. And you open them.
With numbers in it?
Yeah. A. I looked under A for Alcoholics Anonymous.
Did you use a dime or a quarter?
Oh, I actually had one of those phones that was wired to the wall.
Oh, one of those damn things. Whether it was a push button or one of those
push buttons.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry. And they introduced me to Alcoholics Anonymous. The person who picked up said, "Yeah, you got a meeting that's starting in about 45 minutes. You can make it." And I'm like, okay. And I drove to this little place. It was a mid-rise building, 3 or 4 stories. Old building, like 100-year-old building, office building. Had a register. Every time I see that thing in the big book with Bill looking at the registry, wondering whether to go into the bar or call somebody, I think about this, man. I looked at that thing, and my life was in the balance. I look at it, there's no Alcoholics Anonymous on that registry, and it occurs to me that, of course not, it's freaking anonymous. I'm gonna have this, I won't be there. And I turn around and I go to leave, and this girl walks in, young girl, 16, 17-year-old. Well, I know, she was 17, her name was Tammy. And she looks at me, I didn't know that at the time. She looks at me and she grabs me by the shirt, and she just starts walking down the hall, dragging me down the hall in her wake and saying, "You're looking for a meeting." So whatever I look like today, 39 years ago, I looked like somebody who needed a meeting at Alcoholics Anonymous, and strangers knew it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, what a great story of how great self-discipline, even though that night you went down that road. The next morning, you were like, that's it. Like, you hadn't really had any destruction yet. I mean, besides getting kicked from the Marines, you hadn't really destroyed many lives yet, but you foresaw what could happen. And at that young of an age, you grabbed it by the balls and you said, I'm doing this. I mean, that's really awesome.
Yeah, but it was not a lot of self-volition in that decision. It was really like a life preserver had been cast, and I grabbed a hold of it. And because I really felt like I was stuck in a trap that I could not escape from, and there was nothing I could do about it. So when they said, call Alcoholics Anonymous, and I did, it really felt like a life preserver, that there was a lifeboat, and I jumped in the boat.
Yeah.
And then I got swept into the current. They said, keep coming back. I said, what, you'll be next Tuesday at 2 o'clock, first thing in the morning? And they said, no, this is Los Angeles. There's meetings morning, noon, and night. In fact, come on, get in the car. We're going to go grab a bite to eat, then go to the 5:30 meeting, go back to Reggie's. We're going to watch a couple movies, then we're going to go to the 9 o'clock meeting and the 10:45. Maybe it's 11, and then maybe even the midnight meeting.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. And that was surrender, you know.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
definitely surrender.
put myself into the hands of the people of Alcoholics Anonymous and just started.
That is sweet,
Yeah.
because that is sort of critical. Because are you a one chip wonder?
I wish I could say I was. I almost was. I told myself I was.
He's a
for
one-chip
long
wonder.
time.
Yeah,
one
but
of
I
them.
got sober at 50.
I know, but
I could have done it at 23.
About 2 weeks sober, I had a friend of mine from my drinking past call me up and say, "Hey, Tony has got a band, and he's playing in this band. We should go to the bar and listen to Tony." And I refer to the big book by grand 2 weeks of teaching of AA literature. It says, if you're not sure if you're an alcoholic, just step over to the nearest bar.
Yeah, do some
Try
right-
some controlled drinking. And I thought, oh, maybe it was the cocaine. Maybe it was the cocaine. I should do some controlled drinking.
Right.
Did you drink like a gentleman?
I drank like somebody that was pulled into a time warp. I walked in there and I ordered a whiskey sour of all godforsaken drinks.
Ugh.
And they brought it, and I took a sip of it, and I thought, I gotta drink this for an hour? It's syrupy and sweet and nasty, and I'm like, I don't want to drink this for an hour. What I want double Jack and beer back. I mean, I want to get downtown. I want to do it right now. And then I couldn't hear the band. I couldn't hear my people talking. All I could see is the sweat dripping off this glass. And I'm going, I want more. I want more. I want a lot more. And I'm just like, I got to get out of here. So I reset my sobriety date for that date, even though I only probably drank half that whiskey sour.
Oh, damn.
But it meant a lot.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I would have been naked in the parking lot, right, Greg?
Every time.
Every
That's
time.
you.
Yeah.
That's his MO. Naked somewhere.
Well,
Yeah, but
but that's cool. I mean, wow.
I went back the next day. I didn't tell anybody. Kept it a secret. I was really offended 2 weeks later when nobody noticed I picked up a 30-day chip.
I did that too. I picked up a chip that I didn't have the time for.
Yeah.
Oh, I paid for that dearly.
Oh, it preys on your mind. If you stay sober like anywhere 30 plus years, that's a long time you gotta come clean with that at some point.
So I'm in fucking this big meeting place over in Delray Beach, like this huge meeting house, like 200 people for lunch, right? And I go up to get my 90-day because I'm in a treatment center.
Mm-hmm.
And I go up there and I'm not like 90 days sober, but I have to play like I am because I'm in a treatment center. So I got this coup going on. I've already gotten blackout from these girls. They don't want me talking to the girls anymore that are there. And I'm in all kinds of trouble. And I go up and pick up my 90-day chip, and this dude walks up to me, goes, and he gives me a medallion, a 90-day medallion, like this special sparkly medallion. Like, here, man, dude, this is for you, man. I just felt like you deserved it.
Oh, it cut you right to the quick.
Go, no.
Oh, that reminds me. I got a sponsor like 30 days sober, and he was this crazy sponsor. So I'd already met Clancy and what's that other guy in Bellflower? He just died. Johnny Harris.
Okay.
And so I was already going to those meetings, but man, it was so intense. They were so pretty. They had their suits and their.
Did you go to the Riverside meeting or whatever that was where they had to wear suits?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Oh,
it was intimidating.
How many people? Like 1,000?
1,800.
Yeah. There's a
What?
meeting. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So if you go to that meeting and it's your home group, you have to wear a suit.
Definitely.
That's in California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Jeez.
So they intimidated me, but I'm praying. I'm going, God, I need a sponsor. So I do what a newcomer does. I go into a discussion meeting and say, hey, I'm looking for a sponsor. That should be the topic. And I got like 20 different opinions on sponsorship, and you don't need a sponsor, and why you do and why you don't, and blah, blah, blah. And ultimately, at the end of the meeting, this guy comes up and says, my name's Mark. I'll be your sponsor. I said, great, Mark. How long you been sober? He goes, 6 weeks. I said, great, man. That's awesome. When did you work
That's
the
a long
steps?
time.
I know.
Yeah.
That was a long time.
I'm one step ahead of you.
Yeah. I said, when did you work the steps? He goes, I didn't work the steps. I've only got 6 weeks sober. I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna. Well, okay, I appreciate your, willingness. Let's roll with it. See what happens, right?
He's probably still sober, by the way.
He had an aneurysm and passed away.
Oh, fuck.
But we remained friends till he
Did
died.
he stay sober?
He did.
Okay,
he did stay sober.
All right. All right. I'm proving my point.
There you go. And we ended up both being sponsored by Hank. So I praying about it, and I get this overwhelming, like in my car, I'm going to go get a job. I'm going to go to the unemployment office, whatever, go get a job, because I need a job so I can have a car and a girlfriend. The holy trinity of the newcomer, right? I got 30 days. It's time to get money.
Yeah.
So I get in the car and I hear this voice, go to the meeting. I'm like, man, I've already been to 2 meetings. Go to the meeting, you're crazy. And it came back again, go to the meeting. And God doesn't usually talk to me in full sentences or big conversations, but this time he kind of pushy. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Go to a meeting? And then out of this consciousness comes what was once a hunch or intuition will become a working part of the mind.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm not smart enough to know that. I've got 30 days sober. If I have a big book, I'm using it as a doorstop.
Yeah.
I'm not using it. I'm not reading the big book. I'm still trying to figure out if it's okay to pick up on the chicks.
Yeah.
And not like any of the chicks are going to have anything to do with me. I am still the guy that, strangers grabbing me and dragging me into meetings. So, whatever the case is.
Oh, there's one.
You're not a
there's
prime
always
player.
one out there for you. Don't worry.
Right. There's a screw for every nut. There is definitely a screw for every nut. I go to this meeting, and when I walk in, I meet Hank. And Hank has got 36 years sobriety. What he had was presence. I walk in, and he's radiating recovery. He is like, rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Do you hear that? I'm just like, oh, I'm eating it up. I'm like, I think that's going to be my sponsor or something, Nice. So when he finally shut up, they asked him to share, and when he shared, he hooked me. He shared about his drinking, and it was just like me. He was in the military, and I was in the military, and he drank bad, and I drank bad, and his dad was a bad alcoholic. My dad was a bad alcoholic. All this stuff was consistent. I heard him.
Yeah.
And then he said that he got sober at 23 years old, woke up in a hospital with an IV, and I went, man, I've done that. And he says, that wasn't the first time. I said, well, I did it twice too. And then he hooked me. He said, Alcoholics Anonymous is not about just not drinking one day at a time. It's about living a sober life.
There you go.
Yeah.
I went, whoa. That's not what I'm hearing at meetings. I'm hearing don't drink if your ass falls off.
Right.
And here's this guy saying it's about the whole enchilada. It's about being a husband to your wife. It's about being a father to your children. It's about being a worker amongst workers. It's about bringing the vision of God into the lives of your fellows. And I'm just like, sign me up. Yeah. Sign me up. What do I got to do? Let's go.
Yeah.
And I would have done anything with him. I mean, anything.
There's always those people. Now, you knew my late great sponsor guy, King. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I did.
Yeah. That was the same thing, man. I would have. He was like a Lombardi, or he was just one of those figures, man. That just when he spoke, he was like, wow.
We have those people in Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah, they're in our recovery program. There's gazillions of great inspirational people that we can just, they're magnetic.
Yeah.
And they seemingly are bulletproof. They're immune to these micro resentments and traumas and all the bullshit that we kind of go through, and they have like this immunity. But what I found out is that they were fallible human beings.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they were able to share that. But what they did, they carried a good message. And so I always loved and respected the fact that he was like, he could identify with me and my trivial stuff and my problems. Like, he's like, but he had the right answer to how to get away from it.
Our great strength is not our great knowledge. It's our great failures.
Right. There you go. See, I told you he was.
No, that's a good one. That's life itself, really.
Yeah.
You don't have any experience or any knowledge till you failed a bunch of times.
Wisdom. Wisdom.
Success doesn't teach a lot, but failure sure does.
Absolutely. So Hank, his story was in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's Unto the Second Generation in the 3rd edition. And his sponsor he was sponsored by Earl Treat out of Chicago. He got sober in Chicago in 1951. And Earl started Alcoholics Anonymous in Chicago. So, of course, his story is in the big book. I forget what it's called, but Man Who Conquered Fear, I think.
Cool.
We read that this morning.
Yeah. And then, of course, his sponsor was Dr. Bob. He went to Cleveland, and his story talked about going to Cleveland. So I got a very short lineage in that initial sobriety. And he taught me how to pray. He taught me how to be of service. I got down this whole thing because Chris was talking about going to the treatment center with 90 days. And he took me to this treatment center, and it was a long-term recovery center. And I get there, and I'm like, Hank, I've only got 60 days. He goes, yeah, you don't have to tell them that part of your story. And I said, yeah, but what am I going to tell them that they don't already know it? It's like, well, you can tell them that you get to go home at the end of the meeting, and they don't.
That's kind of cool.
I always kind of annoyed me. Guys that would come into the treatment meetings and they would act like they were cool as shit. Hey, I'm 90 days sober. I'm out there doing it, man. What are you guys
It's looking cool, man.
I'm out there living it, man. You know, you're like, good for you.
Yeah,
But
well, you could be there too. When you get to your 90 days, they'll let you out maybe.
You know, one of my first sponsors was a DJ. He had a convertible and a hot blonde girlfriend. I'm like, that guy has everything I want.
Yeah.
I says, can you sponsor me? He's like, can you give me like a DJ voice? And he just goes, sure.
Sure, Primo, I'll sponsor you.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
And did he guide you into a spiritual relationship with your higher power?
No, I was living vicariously through him every second, and I relapsed plenty.
Yeah.
Well, having gotten sober in Southern California, it was really cool. I got to meet some people, but ultimately, all I did was stay sober and go to meetings, and I did fundamentally learn that it's about service and self-sacrifice. It's about discipline. It's about taking responsibility, some personal responsibility. You do anything you want to, as long as you're willing to take personal responsibility for what you reap what you sow, things like that. And, I destroyed relationships and self-sufficiency and self-reliance. And then I had the opportunity to turn it over to God and say, God, please help me to be a better husband and build relationships. Been married to my current wife 35 years. Today's our anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's great.
And yet I'm here with you, bozos.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I feel like
35 years.
wow, yeah, you're screwing up right now. You better get some flowers.
Yeah,
on
I'm
the way
going to
home.
have to do something.
Yeah, definitely something.
And then I screwed up my work life, and I just burned it to the ground using self-sufficiency, knowledge, experience. I'm working harder. I'm like taking names, kick ass, take names, and just destroy relationships. And my professional life is in chaos. And I cry out to God, please help me. I can't do this anymore. I can't even change a tire. Yeah. And God, please help me. I can't do this. And I started bringing the vision of God into my workplace. And it started with making coffee. What can I do for the people that, I've screwed up so bad that I have no responsibilities. I'm in corporate death syndrome. I am just taking up space because they can't fire me. I've got tenure.
And this is why you're sober?
And sober.
So you're still thinking like an alcoholic, right? I'm
turning my will and my life over to the care of God, one chit at a time, one little, thread at a time. And this is my opportunity to turn over my work life. And I come in and I start making amends to my coworkers that have to, carry my load on their backs because I've been a jerk. And I make coffee. I start running errands. I start taking out the trash, just weird stuff. And then before long, my boss says, I hate to do this, but I want you to take over this clinic for me. And I said, you hate to do it because you're going to have me actually do work? He goes, I can't trust you.
Yeah.
I said, I hear you, but you can trust me.
Wow.
And I built this clinic, and he would bring people over, and they would look at the clinic, and I'd say, you know, it's his brainchild. He goes, no, but it's your work. I said, yeah, but I'm only doing what you've asked me to do. Yeah, we're bringing some humility. I didn't know what humility was to that point. And from there, my careers, I changed careers like other people change their underwear. I've had multiple career-type jobs. I've been in IT most of my sober life, but I was also in education. I was in healthcare. I was a counselor. Got a master's in counseling.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I get a sample later?
Yeah, sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Just
Get on your knees.
He still needs work.
Get on
that's
your
for
knees.
sure.
Just
Pray
to
to
freeze-
God to save your sorry butt.
my insurance sucks. I need I can sample some counseling.
Yeah. I didn't make a great counselor.
Yeah.
It's all right. I don't need a great counselor.
I could do bad. Yeah, a coach, life coach. Cause
I don't want anybody too good.
Yeah, we got to keep our. I can't practice without a license, so it's going to be life coaching. Anyway.
Oh, geez.
Where are we at?
I could certainly be a life coach. Yeah, that's the new thing.
Yeah.
If you hit the end of the road and you're not sure what to do, life coach.
Yeah.
I was just working on my life coach resume.
Yeah.
Literally. No. I'm just kidding.
I'm an international consultant, by the way.
Yeah.
If you want to know something, just ask me. I have an opinion on everything.
Yeah. Everywhere, all over the
Internationally.
world.
That's right. That's right.
I can go across the pond if I have to.
And there you go.
Gotcha. So you're still in Southern California. You meet your wife there?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. And then, so how did you end up down here?
Oh my gosh. So you got to take it back to 35 years ago when we got married. I proposed to her, and I said, honey, will you follow me to the ends of the earth? And she said yes. And I put her to task on that.
Yeah.
We moved from Southern California after the Rodney King riots. It was pretty intense where we lived. We lived pretty close to the hood. When I got sober, I didn't really identify well with those really fancy meetings that we were talking about earlier, but I definitely identified with the hood. I went to the Snake Pit in Paramount, on Paramount Boulevard in Rosecrans. If you guys want to look up that area, on a criminal heat map, they have to create new colors for the kind of crime in that area. They had a court card that says, meetings conducted at the Imperial Alano Club in Paramount will not apply to fulfillment of your court.
Really?
Yeah, there were people slinging heroin and doing tricks in the parking lot. I mean, it was rough. And in North Long Beach, right just south of Compton.
Jeez, all right.
Yeah, so we were like, Rodney King riots were intense.
Yeah.
We were right in the demilitarized zone, just behind the whole full-on burning riot areas. And so we look at each other and say, well, let's go raise a baby someplace else. And we picked Texas. We moved to Texas, and we were there for 10 years. It was fine. And
What part?
Yeah, what part?
What part? We went to Waco.
Oh,
Yeah,
well.
there was a Branch Davidian thing going on there.
I was going to
religious
say,
zealot.
you're like Forrest Gump here. You go from Rodney King and Watts. You decide to go to Waco where that's going on.
Yeah, well,
I can't imagine where next is that.
I was sitting there at work one day, and they blew
drunk
up
forest.
the compound and they burned the little kids and the whole 9 yards, and everybody was dead. And I just looked at my boss, and he says, there's an opening in Waco. And I'm looking at this, and I'm going, oh, very funny. He goes, no, at the hospital there. And so I put in a resume and got hired to be,
Wow. Did you go to Oklahoma City next?
I passed through there. And very briefly, there's.
Did you get a job at Twin Towers?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Right before.
After about 10 years, we moved to Wyoming. The ends of the earth.
Dang, she is following you to the ends.
Wyoming.
Yeah.
And not the pretty parts of Wyoming. There's signs in Wyoming. Their motto is beautiful places and wide open spaces. We were in the wide open spaces.
Yeah.
There was no beautiful places there. It was ugly. And we did that.
Yeah.
And that's where the big change happened. So I talk about my early sobriety. And when I talk about my early sobriety, are we still recording?
Yeah.
you're
Just kick back on, Chris.
Oh, did.
Yeah.
So when I
ahead.
talk about my early sobriety, it was up to the point where I had 19 years.
Yeah.
And there's people, I see the look on your face. I hear the absurdity in that, because I've been sober long enough to know that 19 years is a significant amount of sobriety.
It is.
And you got to have some time to look back on 19 years and say, well, that was my early sobriety. That's madness. So I get it.
Yeah.
But it was such a huge change. I was there. My wife was worried I was going to drink. I'd been successful.
Because you're in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere.
So how did you choose to go there?
Oh, it's a work thing.
Okay, so there's a hospital there
There's
that
a
needed
hospital
you?
there. They needed a person, and I went there as a consultant, international consultant. No, I was just hospital consultant. I did management consulting.
Yeah.
And I evaluated their manager and said, he's sleeping under his desk. He's camping, and he does that every day. And his staff are trying to hold down the fort the best they can, but he is absolute, just the worst manager I've ever witnessed in my life. So they fired him, which they should have. That's fine.
That's sweet.
Gave him a big bonus.
To go away?
Parade, yes.
To go away?
Yes, this is corporate America.
Yeah.
So
That's
but
the
then
medical field for you.
Then they looked at me and they said, "You want the job?" I
Yeah.
said, "I can't take the job. I've got a non-compete." They said those non-competes aren't worth the paper they're written on.
Yeah.
I said, "That's correct. I fully understand that. But to me, I've made a commitment." And the reason a hospital gets into the kind of situations that you're in is because you hire people who don't honor their commitments. And the guy looks at me and he picks up the phone and he calls the managing director of the consultancy firm and says, "How much is it going to cost me to hire this guy?" And he wrote a big check. It was not the standard finder's fee. It was like 5 times that. And he wrote the check.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So there we are in Wyoming. I couldn't really get my wife to understand how important that was.
Yeah.
But it was super important, and we didn't know, because you don't know what you don't know, and you're going through life and you're praying and you're doing the work of Alcoholics Anonymous, trying to bring integrity into the world, trying to bring the vision of God into the lives of my fellows, right?
Yeah.
And so I get there, and my daughter is diagnosed with celiac disease, which was a deadly disease. She was going to die. She had it bad, and that was how God brought me there. But that's not an Alcoholics Anonymous story. That's a medical story. But while I'm there, somebody started a new meeting. It was across town, and I'm going to meetings. I'm a going to meeting guy. And I show up late and leave early, and I look down my nose at everybody and go, "You ain't doing it right," But I'm going to meetings because I know what happens to people who don't go to meetings. They drink.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling pretty smug at this point, right? I've got long-term sobriety, 19 years.
Oh, yeah.
I'm making money.
You didn't relate to how that ruined your last job in Southern California?
No.
The smugness and the... Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And my wife is just dying. She's like, "He's going to drink. He's going to drink. He's going to drink." I'm like, "I don't see it. I'm fine. I'm fine. And, but they started a new meeting, and I heard it. Somebody says, "Yeah, they started a Nazi meeting." And I know that term is a little rough, especially here in Florida. But what they meant by that is a group that is really intensely following some principles.
Yeah. We call that a black belt.
Yeah, black belt. That's a better term. I get the cultural components to that here today. But at the time, that was the term that was used.
Nice.
And so I knew what that term was, and I knew what that meant because of those meetings in Southern California, those ones that we talked about earlier, and the big ones in 1,800 people
yeah.
when their suits and their dresses and ties. And so I'm curious, how in the world this godforsaken place can they have a meeting like that? I mean, it's just unfathomable. And yet I go there, and there's guys in there. Well, they don't have suits. I mean, they don't even own suits, but they had like sport coats and blazers, and ties that were mismatched. And I just went, oh my God, they're trying to do it. They're really trying to do it. And I respected their effort, and I started showing up.
Wow.
And then God took over. Once I did that, I go to a conference, and Tom I, are you guys familiar with Tom? Tom I, he was a prison warden who had once killed somebody. And when he was a prison warden for the prison where he had been an inmate.
Wow.
Anyway, he was a big circuit speaker at Alcoholics Anonymous, and he told the history of Alcoholics Anonymous from the podium, and he did it in a way that just laid me out. He said, so, the history, in the 1950s, we beat people over the head with a big book to get them in the car, blah, blah, blah. He brought it all the way up. And then he got to the point where I got sober, and he started describing the treatment centers and their impact, and I'm nodding my head, and he says, there's a lot of people with long-term sobriety, 18, 20 years, and they're looking around at what the treatment centers have introduced into Alcoholics Anonymous, and they're kind of stepping out, and they're now in their churches and in their professions bringing the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous into the lives of fellows in other areas. They get service and self-sacrifice, they get prayer and meditation, they just don't get it in Alcoholics Anonymous, and they stop bringing it back to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Wow.
They've stolen Alcoholics Anonymous from Alcoholics Anonymous, and they are doing it for their own selfish ends. And I was just like, oh my God, man. He just totally
Spoke right to you.
Totally spoke right to me.
Yeah.
And I prayed. I said, God, I need a new sponsor. I need to do this right. How can I bring Alcoholics Anonymous to Alcoholics Anonymous? I know this stuff.
Yeah.
And I got a new sponsor. I said, my wife on the way home, I said, well, I'm going to get a new sponsor. She goes, who are you thinking? I said, how about Wayne K? And she said, she almost spit her coffee into the dashboard. She's like, he's going to expect you to do stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's it. I need to do stuff. And we started down that path, man. We started going to meetings. He had me calling him every day. And, man, when you call him every day, there's just nothing to talk about. So I'm a lot of times it's like, how you doing? Fine. What you going to do? I'm going to a meeting. Okay, see ya. Bye. Yeah, whatever. So we had a business meeting. We got a new GSR. So I can tell him about that. I tell him. He goes, well, what'd you stand for? I said, I didn't stand for anything. I've got 19 years. We're going to let the newer people do it. And he goes, oh, I didn't realize you were looking for a new sponsor. And I'm like, nah, man, I can do the math. We do these things every 2 years.
Okay.
Within the next 2 years, I'll figure out whether or not I want to be at GSR or something. Golly. And so I rolled my eyes. Next time there's an election, I'll stand. That flipping GSR drank that weekend. We had an election the following Tuesday. I'm the new GSR, I'm going to, now I'm doing general service. We're putting on conferences. I start meeting people in Alcoholics Anonymous.
Nice.
And just getting to know people. And then the final thing, I go to Salt Lake City one day, and I go to a meeting, and it was one of those meetings that I just loathe. It was super low energy. The people were talking. They weren't talking loud enough to be heard. And there's an open discussion with no topic. And so people were talking about their trip to this place and their cruise and their dogs and that. And that's like, and I've got a sponsor who wants me to go to 7 meetings a week. And this one's not going to count because I got lost. The GPS made me take a wrong turn, and I didn't get there till 10 minutes too late. So it's not even going to count. I still got to find a meeting. And I'm just pissy. And at the end of that meeting, we do the Lord's Prayer, and then we break. And I say, God, if this was my first meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, would I be sober today? And he said, no. I mean, I talk a lot about God talking to me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen very often. I'm talking to you guys. You get the highlight reel.
Right.
Most of my life is just my life. You know,
Sure.
I'm doing it the best I can, flubbing along. But this day, God said, no. And I said, what was different? And he said, enthusiasm. He spoke enthusiasm into me. At 10 o'clock that night, so that was 8:30, 9:30, 10 o'clock, an hour and a half later, they had a meeting in that same room. I showed up to that meeting. I shared first, and I had 4 people ask me to sponsor them. I get back to my hometown, and I've got 7 sponsees in my hometown. I didn't sponsor those guys. They're in Salt Lake City. I'm in Wyoming. But,
Right.
I mean, the point was there. I get back. I've got 4 or 5. I got 7 sponsees at my home group and surrounding within a week. That my relationship with Alcoholics Anonymous changed almost as much as the day I quit drinking that 19 years earlier than that.
Wow, that's cool.
Isn't
And what's
that
the number you're at now?
That is
What's
cool.
your sober number right now?
I'm 39.
39.
3.9, big 3.9.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
3.9 G's. Greg would call it 3.9 G.
Crazy, man. And those numbers are just unfathomable even to me.
Right.
You
I
know
bet.
what I'm saying?
Dude, you're wearing it well, dude. You're doing
Oh,
good.
for sure.
Yeah, you're doing good.
So you're in Wyoming,
Yeah.
and obviously you're igniting that meeting in Wyoming. You got the enthusiasm. You're kicking it up.
Oh, yeah.
How did you leave Wyoming?
Well, my wife hated Wyoming.
Oh, well, there
Go
we go.
figure.
I bought her a retirement home here in Tampa. It was right downtown in Hyde Park.
Smart.
And-
Good
and-
move.
Yeah. And I would buying her one-way tickets. to
That'll
fly
keep you
home.
married.
And we would fly down here together, and then I would fly back because I only had 4 days or 5 days, whatever I could squeak.
Yeah.
And then she would stay 3 or 4 weeks. And when she got missing me enough, she would buy a return flight home, come home. And she did that 3 or 4 times in a year. And she goes, Wayne, I'm going to really miss you. I love you, and I'll really miss you.
South Tampa's
But I'm going to
great,
stop
yeah.
coming back. I'm not coming. Next time I go, there's no one-way ticket home.
Right.
And so I told my boss that I'd be, I'm leaving. There's priorities,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go.
Good for you. So here's a question, because I know that you moved around a lot in sobriety. Here's a question I got to ask. When you move and you go to a new place, the meetings are different.
Yeah.
And so there's that little bit of like, hey, man, they're just not doing it right over here.
Yeah.
Did you have that?
Until I had my epiphany.
'Cause
Until
I'm having
God
a-
breathed enthusiasm into me. I had that everywhere I went.
Really? Okay.
And
Okay.
then I have enthusiasm every meeting. My only purpose for being in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting is to bring a vision of God's will into that meeting. So I go into meetings, and if the topic is good and the leader is on topic, and then everyone starts sharing it, I'm just going, yeah, they're nailing it.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing to say.
Yeah.
And whether it's a speaker meeting or any kind of meeting.
But if it feels flat, you feel an obligation.
I feel an absolute obligation to bring it,
Yeah.
man, and bring it with enthusiasm.
Throw it down.
Yes.
Lay it on them.
Lay it on them.
Amen. Hallelujah.
So you see me, Chris. You
I
see
do,
me in
I
those
do, I
meetings,
do,
and
man.
I'm just a lot of days. I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
I just chill in the meetings. I'm just fine. But you catch me at the warehouse at a nude meeting where everybody's talking about this, that, and their cat, and I'm going to bring. Because, okay, Chris Raymer, Chris R., you guys will be editing it.
No, bring it.
Chris Raymer, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he was a speaker, a circuit speaker, and he talks a lot about how people bring their war stories in Alcoholics Anonymous, and they convince people that it's all about the war stories and their cats and their all this stuff, and gives them 1,000 reasons to go away. But the truth is, we have the only solution, or really not. It's maybe a little arrogant to say we got the only solution, but we've got a really strong solution for a fatal disease that's destroying people's lives, and we have an obligation to bring that.
You do.
Agreed.
I love that though, because the enthusiasm. Because there are times when if I'm sitting in a meeting and nobody's saying anything, and I'm like, okay, sometimes I like to hold off and kind of marinate on the information that's coming in, what people, and maybe try to help bring something. But man, if it's just dead air, I'm like, what the hell did you get out of bed this morning for? I mean, did you get up to lay up, or are you gonna take a swing at this thing? You know what I mean? Are you gonna participate in your own life? You know what I mean? Are you gonna? Well, how about you show up for yourself? Forget the rest of these people, And then you're just like, well, my life is no good. Well, no shit. Maybe you got to get out of your own way and give yourself a hug or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But do it. I get so angry. I get so frustrated, and maybe I could bring some enthusiasm. Maybe that would be a different spin.
But the thing,
'cause I get angry.
You know what the enthusiasm is? You can't fake it. It is God within. You have to have it.
Yeah.
You can't fake it. I've had a huge epiphany. So I met Sandy Beach in Rapid City, South Dakota, a couple years before we moved here. And then when we got here, I went to a lot of meetings with Sandy, so I got to know him quite well. In fact, he died in my arms. I knew him that well. Now, that was circumstance, not because I'm some great guy. It was just I happened to be at the meeting, sitting next to him when he passed away. But so
he died at a meeting.
He died at a meeting.
Dude, it was.
Were you at that
in his
meeting
arms?
too?
No, I wasn't at that meeting. No. But that's harsh. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's dedication.
Oh, it was poetic.
Yeah, poetic
It was-
is
what
really
What was
a
the
bad
topic?
word.
What was the topic?
It was the first paragraph of the first step in the 12 and 12.
Really?
Few of us
That's fucking.
yeah, it was
That-
like, wow.
Yeah, he impacted a lot of people, and
He
I
did.
I always felt very proud to have been able to go to those and to listen to that. I always appreciated that.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
when I met him in Rapid City, he died with 49 years. Okay. He died with 49 years. And in that, it was maybe 8 years before he died. So that gives him what? About 41 years.
Right.
And when he was there, he was talking about how in the last couple of years he had a spiritual growth that was so significant. It was amongst the most significant periods of spiritual growth in his entire sobriety, including his getting sober. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember hearing any of that?
I do, and when his daughter was murdered and all the stuff that he
Yeah.
really became like this iconic person that learned that he definitely had this spiritual walk about him.
And I would listen to that and I would think, man, how can you be 39, 40 years sober and having big spiritual growths? 2 years ago, I got a new sponsor and I started a new spiritual practice, and I've had just a huge spiritual growth. It is absolutely as significant as that one when I was 19 and had that epiphany. And I'm like, wow. So if you've got time, if you can stay sober long enough, there's still growth to be had, no matter where you're at in your sobriety.
I'm feeling a little guilt. I'm feeling some pressure here. I might have
What
to.
a great saying again, Wayne. God, you just deliver. Great saying after great saying. Very motivational.
He's rocking it.
Enthusiasm. Blam.
Pow.
I prayed before I got here, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I
Would
can
you,
see your aura.
Is your sponsor the Great Kazoo?
It is John F.
John F. That's right. You have that little dude that shows up.
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah,
Great
from the
Kazoo.
Flintstones.
Yeah, I love the Great Kazoo.
Yeah.
Great Kazoo.
Out of nowhere. The great kazoo.
The Kazoo. Well, maybe that guy could be following me around. I need some input from somewhere.
Yeah. You need someone smarter than the great kazoo, actually.
Probably.
What you need is Wayne following you around on your
I know,
shoulder
I gotta-
with that enthusiasm and all those.
I gotta get Wayne in my life.
Yeah.
You get grumpy.
I mean, the guy came up in all these years with these legendary AA types, you know?
I know.
California, Wyoming, Salt Lake, ran into, and then you come down here and you meet Sandy Beach. I mean, it's like you're following the great speakers around, or you just happen to to go to where there are some.
And the
Well,
great Guy King,
They
another
said
great.
in page 164, you're surely to meet some of us as you trudge this road of happy destiny.
And you're proof of that, for sure.
Love
for
it.
sure. Wow, well, this hour has just flown by, Primo.
I know, dude.
I mean,
I told you, look out. Wayne's going to drop some bombs.
you 100% did say that, and he delivered like a freaking pizza company is what he delivered like. So
Domino's.
since we are coming up on that time, it's just been awesome having you, Wayne. So are there any parting words that you would like to leave with our group as we come up on the hour? Is there like just what would you like to I mean, you've dropped so many dimes on us. Is there one thing you'd like to finish with? Let's say that.
Oh, geez. You guys keep up the good work. I'm impressed with you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate that. You know, if you're having a tough time quitting, whatever it is, you know you need to quit. You're not alone. There's apps and numbers and groups in your town, or you can call us if you want. Leave us a message, 727-239-8587. Hit us up on Facebook. Taking that first step into a room or a chat or a group with people trying to get better just like you will be the best day of your life. Primo, what's your final point on today's show, my man?
Well, now I normally have a little bit more like I'm going to just pull something out of thin air, but this one rings true to a lot. You know, the guy's an old pal of mine, and it's always tonight the theme is don't leave until the miracle happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whatever it is that you're feeling like, you know, that you can ask God for help. You don't have to let pride get in the way, and listen. You know what I mean? It's easy to ask. It's almost impossible to listen.
Yeah, he told 2 or 3 great stories of listening.
Yeah, and he just said, you know, I don't even know if I would have allowed that voice to come through.
Yeah.
That's how much noise I can get going on in my head. So you took out the head trash, and you listened, and so to me, that's my thought, man. Don't ever give up. You know.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Wayne. It was a really pleasure to have you. I know the listeners are going to love it. So, you know, thanks for listening to Sober Shenanigans, real talk and real recovery. We say it every week. Worry, anxiety, and fear, it's all up in here. Give yourself a break. You're enough, and you're doing great. I'm Stoff, and he's Primo. And remember, no drinks today.
We're all in the same boat, fellas.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really.
Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Shenanigans! After all that, shenanigans! Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
What's all this?
Officer Bob Brady, I would like to reinstate my previous shenanigans. This whole carnival is a ripoff.
You know, excuse me, but I agree. These rides are really stupid. Chamber of Farts isn't scary at all. Okay, let's calm down. People of South Park, do you declare shenanigans on the carnival people?
Yeah!
Okay, carnival people, do you accept this decree of shenanigans?
What the hell are you talking about? This old town is screwy.
Well, that settles it. Everybody grab a broom. It's shenanigans!